It's magically shit.
You'll find yourself just taking your clothes off and joining in.
Magical boners.
Oh, who was I thinking of the other day that looks like an elf?
Dunno.
Bit of a silly adventure, wasn't it?
But you know what? Every time I have a cup of tea, I turn into a fucking tea plant.
You're not allowed to get boners.
Oh my god! I'm in hot soup!
Just eat a loaf of bread. You don't know what's going to happen. Your head might explode or something.
Just wanted me peas.
We don't want rings, we want the one thing.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Cover This Summer. I am Luke Illingworth and I've got Will South.
Yes, that's me.
And the greatest showman, Drew Woolnough.
That's me from now on.
Yes.
This is me. Other songs from The Greatest Showman are available.
I don't know any of the songs.
Oh,
So
my hilarious introduction.
I'm sure that was hilarious.
Oh, it was top notch. It was first class banter.
I got it.
Good stuff.
Call me PT Banter. Will.
Is that another Greatest Showman joke?
Well, it's about P.T. Barnum.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't even that good. It's not even that close to banter, but it's Sunday. What do you want? It's Sunday.
It is Sunday.
Again. Back to Sunday.
It's always bloody Sunday, isn't it?
Pulling another pod out of the fez.
As is tradition. Have we got a fez today? I don't know. What's going on?
No, I've abandoned that because it hurt me. I'm still struggling. My fingers split open.
Are you still psychologically wounded as well as physically?
Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're here today, Will.
Good, thank you.
Because
I'm glad too.
What about me? I'm glad I'm here.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Fuck
glad
you.
you're here as well.
Yeah, Jesus.
Also Will. Mainly Will. because I think my idea for today was... I was listening back to previous episodes, and I think the last one you did with us was Time Twirlers.
No, I've done a few more, but I'm happy to say Time Twirlers.
To pretend that it was Time Twirlers.
Okay, well maybe I just forgot to bring it up in other ones. But I was listening to it, and when we was trying to figure out what to do, you kind of came up with like this fantasy idea.
Mm-hmm. I remember that, yeah.
And I just shut you down.
Was it about Wi-Fi or people's Wi-Fi
connectivity
I
can't remember, but I just remember you said fantasy, and I was, no! I just
You're like, I don't subscribe to fantasy.
So, I think today we should do a fantasy film to make up for it.
Were you saying that my fantasy idea was just a fantasy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I was just like, I don't really know about fantasy, so I don't know how much.
Well, last week you started to try and make the Fez idea a fantasy, didn't you?
I did, yeah. But
we're like, let's wait for Will. Let's wait for
Will. Maybe we could just go through like the tropes of a fantasy film and try and twist them on their head.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Get radical.
So from that, I think that the populace of whoever we're helping in the film there's something that has happened to them where they cannot stop doing headstands. So we've already turned that on their head.
Right.
That's a statement of intent.
Yeah.
Already they see everything that you know is upside down, literally.
Yeah. Maybe everything is just going upside. The world is turning upside down.
Like the castles are like upside down. You have to climb up to the entrance and stuff.
Yeah.
You ride horses on their backs. They just wiggle around.
Yeah. No, the horse.
I imagine you've got like hold of their legs.
That's what you're steering them, and you're kind of like jumping up with their legs to kind of move them like up, like and forwards, as though you're kind of skiing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Brilliant. We're there.
Right.
We're there.
Right. So we need an epic quest to solve this. We need a group.
That's all. That's all I really know about fantasy films is that it seems to be a lot of walking.
Yep, yeah. Got to have some good walking in there. Some hikes, some treks.
You got
some lovely scenic some fucking
romps.
shots.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
What's this person after?
It'll probably have to be some sort of artifact.
Well, maybe if everything is upside down or everything's like turned on its head in this universe, maybe they should be after the one thing that isn't magic. Because they're usually after some magical thing. Maybe everything's super magic, and they need to find the one thing that doesn't contain magic.
Yeah, maybe, and then that makes maybe that thing is like really valuable because
it's not magic.
Because it's not magic. Everything else is fucking magic.
Everything else is magic, and the world has gone absolutely haywire because everything. You touch something, and you don't know whether you're going to like turn into a frog, go invisible, like burst into flames.
Yeah.
All everyone wants is just sanity. They just want to stop being magic.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be like a parallel world to ours. It's set in modern times, but because everything is magic. They haven't progressed because everything's just so chaotic and irrational. They can't progress in a sort of scientific or like their technology can't get past this medieval fantasy trope. So it's set in 2018, but everything's still medieval and magical. Yeah.
Well, just like no one dares touch anything, just in case it turns them into a fucking elf.
They're just so afraid.
Yeah, it's terrifying just to eat, like just to eat a loaf of bread. You don't know what's going to happen. Your head might explode or something. some ironic bloody consequence will happen for eating or wearing a hat or something.
Yeah, like there's a spoon that the more you eat, the hungrier you get, and no one knows why, and they're like, why? Who would enchant this spoon to do this?
It's just got too far. Like, everyone's just trying to be original.
Yeah.
These wizards are just trying to be really original, and like all they've got is just making spoons magic.
Yeah, all these arrogant, egotistical wizards have ruined the world because of their one-upmanship of each other's spells.
Yeah. So
backwards cutlery.
What could the thing be that isn't magic, and how would that help with them?
Maybe it should be a spoon. Maybe I just think something really simple. They do just want to eat. They want to eat something like natural, or like what else would be good? I don't know. A spoon is so like a humble thing. Yeah, it needs to be quite simple, I think. And this is one spoon that was maybe everything is enchanted because it is always enchanted by the wizards, and like someone stole, maybe like one of the helpers at this kind of wizarding facility stole it. So you have the prologue, like the start of Lord of the Rings. The prologue is we're in this wizarding thing, and everyone's like, and it's almost like a factory line. These wizards are just enchanting everything they make in a sort of conveyor belt thing. And there's this one little cleaner or little boy who steals like a spoon. And they're like, "Oi!" And he runs out, and eventually he's maybe, I guess they wouldn't shoot arrows, but the equivalent of like in Lord of the Rings when King Isildur is like shot down and the ring escapes his grasp. The boy or the girl, whoever stole it is taken out and killed, but the spoon has slipped from his grasp.
It could land in water.
Exactly. Carried down the river somewhere, so no one knows where it is. So but we set up that's the one, and so the wizards are after this because they for some whatever reason they know this is a dangerous thing, the single unmagical object. They need to get it back, and then just a lowly villager needs to go on an epic quest to get this spoon to feed their family or whatever. Well, that's something like that.
Let's put a little bit of background in, because these wizards in this magical factory are making everything magic because it's sort of like, in the earlier epoch, as there always is like an age or two before the age that the characters are currently in, like people were buying products that were non-magical, but in order to sort of up their game, each sort of wizard or merchant made something slightly magical, and then people went to their store. Oh, let's go and buy from his store because everything's slightly magical. It'll make you sort of, a bit more powerful. Whereas nowadays, just in order to stay ahead, everything has to have magic. It's like I don't know, Wi-Fi connectivity. Like you wouldn't buy a phone that doesn't have Wi-Fi connectivity. So yeah, and the little kid, the sweeper boy, he runs away with this spoon that has managed not to be enchanted. But I think the way he could die in the prologue is he opens a door, but the door is a magic door, and I don't know, something hilarious could it could just like slice him in half or something. It's like no one knows why this door's there, and then the spoon flies off into the river out back.
yeah.
Or he opens
something he opens the door, and then like a door opens in him, and this tart comes that falls out of him, or something stupid like that.
He opens the door, but the door's to hell.
Yes, that's quite. I like what you're saying, like the sort of because it's almost like if we wanted to make it like a sort of our time or political, it's almost like a comment on consumerism, I guess. If we wanted to bestow a sort of arty kind of theme, it's about it's about consumerism and how like maybe it can be saying like how our technology is progressing so fast in a way that's arguably unhealthy. Some would say like at the expense of normal, with a lot of sort of social norms, like we're just glued to our phones and all that sort of stuff. It kind of works on that level, which is quite cool. That's making it even funnier.
But maybe we could the story could start in I don't know, maybe like a small quaint town or village, i.e. Hobbiton, and somebody, I don't know, maybe someone could be sick, but they're magically sick, so they're really, really healthy, but they're so healthy they can't stop, it's their dad or their mum or something, and they can't stop running and weightlifting, and it's destroying everything because they're just running everywhere, like all the fields. They've run up and down these fields so quickly and so many times that they've just killed all the crops and they want to lift everything, so it's like they're uprooting trees and stuff like that. But they're really happy about it. They're really nice and smiley and like, oh, I'm just exercising. Yeah, it's cool. And this boy needs to feed them a potion, but the potion's magical. But he needs to stop the magical effect of it. So he needs the spoon, the one thing that the one thing. That's what it's called.
The one thing.
The one thing. Yeah.
One thing to spoon them all.
He doesn't necessarily know that it is a spoon, but he can.
So there's a thing,
there's one thing, there's one magical object.
He needs a thing to be able to touch this other thing, because his hand can't touch the thing because it'll turn him into a fucking gremlin or something.
It'll magic him up. Maybe his sister or brother or something has tried to give their parents the potion and has turned into that gremlin. So he's like, oh shit! And that's like he's the younger one, and that's like the older sister who's kind of like teenage years. So they like kind of taking care of things, always looked after him. And so this boy now has to go off on. He doesn't know anything about the world, but he's just taken his little his little sister has turned into a gremlin. And she can only say like one word or something stupid like that. What would be a funny word that she could only say? She could only say spoon. And at that point, he doesn't know it's the spoon. Yeah,
he doesn't know why it's a spoon. And he could meet. Obviously, you've got to have the sort of the wizard helper.
Should someone kind of come to this guy and be like, I know where you can find magic thing.
He could be like a disgraced wizard who's been living in that town for a while, and he doesn't do magic anymore. He was kicked out, and this boy goes to him for help, and he's like, there's no spell I can do to reverse it, but I do know they did use the. I saw that there's one unmagical thing.
He could have worked at the factory where they enchant the cutlery.
Yeah. And he didn't see what it was, but he knew something happened.
And he could get fired for something. Or maybe it was on his watch that the spoon got nicked.
Yeah.
And then he gets fired and he's disgraced, and now he sees an opportunity to kind of get his own back.
Maybe he gets fired for gross negligence because he was really hungry one day and he was just like, God, all these magical fucking pieces of cutlery. Oh god! And then he tries to eat something, and as he puts a spoon in it, his food just disappears, and he goes, "I just want to fucking eat." Like that. And he's like, "God damn this magical cutlery!" Oh! So then he just takes a preformed spoon and starts to eat with it, and goes, "Oh, that was a delicious meal. Why are more things not non-magical?" Just left it on the side to be washed up, and that's where where the boy found it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's well good.
Yeah.
So we're starting to assemble our merry band of fantasy people, whatever.
So we've got the young boy who I imagine probably has very large hairy feet.
It's almost certainly. Maybe he has very large hairy hands or something.
Yeah.
Just to change it a little bit. And he's got his little gremlin sister on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Maybe she can't even talk. She just goes like the little gremlin in The Simpsons. She's just crawling around going like.
Yeah, she's proper gross.
Yeah. And this kind of, I keep thinking of like particularly when with the wizards all working in a factory and the disgraced wizard, it's almost like Rincewind in the Terry Pratchett novels, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what I was thinking as well. Yeah.
Maybe we can call him Wincerind.
Wincerind. Yeah.
Really turn that name on its head.
And the boy can be called Foo Tower or something like that. Blue Tower. And right, so they're on their way. Obviously, they have to go to some sort of elven kingdom for help because no one can do anything.
Do they need like a map or something, or a device that helps them track it down?
The elvish people will have something that they can use to track. They can track. They can see magic like in the world and can also see absence of magic, and they need to use it to find where there is less magic in the world or something. Kind of like almost a bit like a compass, kind of like the alethiometer in like the His Dark Materials thing, like some sort of magical compass that they need to go on their quest. Yeah. So I was trying to think, who will they? So they'll get like start assembling our merry band of characters. So we get like maybe he'll get an elf from there. Like will we have like a warrior or a dwarf or what other classic fantasy characters can we recruit?
You've got to have your elf, your dwarf, and your man. Well, basically, it's going to be 9 people in it, really. So he can bring along at least 3 of his little children friends.
Yeah.
He's got a wizard. He's got the gremlin sister. That's an extra one. The gremlin sister. That's just cool.
That's bonus. That's just I just think it might be cool to have like because they don't really do this. Like we've got orcs in this world, but they have an orc that's a friendly orc. You know. Yeah. Because in these kind of fantasy films, they're always just like the kind of orcs are just evil. We could have like an outcast orc who helps them as well.
Well, it's like cool. It's like Bright. Have you seen Bright?
Yeah, I've seen Bright. Yeah. Oh yeah, like him. He's the sort of one who's joined the only orc cop. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, and they sort of I think all the orcs everyone should be integrated. It's 2018 for God's sake.
Exactly. I forget that. Yeah.
Yeah, and but they're like it's sort of like they do non-orky things like they're salesmen and stuff like that, and they're sort of like in these suits and they've all got these different jobs and so much so that even like classically the big who would be the big bad guy in say like Lord of the Rings like Sauron, he's actually just like a used car salesman, but it would be used cart salesman, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
And maybe as they're walking along through all these different towns and stuff, like people can just keep trying to peddle them rings, and they're like, just get out of my face with those rings, god damn it, I know they're all powerful, I don't want them, I want this fucking object, I want the one thing, I don't want these rings.
I've got like 50 magical rings back home in a drawer. I don't need any more magic rings. For God's sake.
We don't want rings. We want the one thing.
They're saying that the whole journey. They're walking. We don't want rings. We want the one thing.
Yeah. One thing that doesn't do anything.
They could like be going through like a market or something, and there's people trying to sell them unenchanted things, and they buy them like that, and it's just a big con.
They're always enchanted. They've always got a little enchantment in them.
I think that's a good death for one of our little. Maybe he can just bring all of his friends on, because the death toll in this world is just unbelievable. So like he's like brought 20 of his friends on just so he can kill them off every so often. So like one of his friends, like in this magical flea market, goes and buys one of his rings. Oh, it's not magical. Look, and he puts it on, and he just starts floating off up into space.
Maybe later on in the film, like half an hour later in the film, they're like his body like drops down in front of them. Oh shit! Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, he flew up in the air,
frozen solid.
Yeah,
but it's still been flying along with them to drop it.
It could like turn like they could be up against some kind of monster. And then it falls and just lands and crushes it. He could be frozen solid.
Yeah.
So it just does it and crushes it. And then like, oh, it's old Timmy from earlier.
Yeah, from earlier. Cheers, mate.
So in order to gather the rest of their party, maybe they're going into this shop, right, for information, and it's like a customer services bit. And there's an elf, a man, and a dwarf, and they've all got problems with their items, and they all just start talking. Oh God, it's so shit that everything's magic, isn't it? Yeah. And they all go, should we go and try and get the one thing? Yeah, right. And it's like the customer service here is shit. It's magically shit, like that. And and they just, it's really like the thread of the plot is just so loose that we just need these characters to come on board now, just for protection, just for like that. We'll keep you safe, boys, but we just want to live a normal life, really.
Well, kind of everything, every relationship in this universe is formed very quickly because people are dying so frequently. Everyone's kind of attached, is used to finding new friends very quickly because 5 of their friends will be dead before the end of the day because they go into a bar and order some drinks, and 4 out of 6 drinks will be like, one will burn your face off, one will freeze the other. You've got to be open to new people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think there should be one of the guys coming with him. He should just be completely kind of sarcastic about it. He's just coming because he's just got, I've got to see this. I've got to see this. You're talking shit. Fucking hell. Oh, I've got to see this.
When you realise there ain't one thing that doesn't do anything, then I'll be the one who can peer around your shoulder and say, "Yep, told you so." See, was a bit of a silly adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why he's coming, and then he gets shown up because they find this spoon.
He's the one who finds the spoon first, and he's the big convert.
Maybe he finds the one spoon and he doesn't want to be proved wrong, so he tries to, like, at the last minute. That's the twist. At the last minute, he has to go and try and destroy it in a vat of boiling hot soup.
Yeah, he's the Gollum. He's the Gollum of the group.
Yeah, he becomes the Gollum.
Maybe he should be like, he should be trying to enchant it. Like, he's not a wizard, but he's got like a little wizard book, and he's desperately trying to enchant it with something to prove them, so that it still is actually magic, and there isn't anything that is unmagic. But he just can't do it.
Yeah, he really, really quickly. Maybe he does buy one of the rings from the market really quickly. He does turn into this Gollum-like character, really like shriveled, and he's the only one who starts to really love magic.
Yeah, he doesn't want to let magic go. He's desperate. Oh, and at the end they have like a line where they see him wearing the ring and he's all shriveled, and they go, "Oh, fuck's sake, Of course he's betrayed us. He's got the Gollum ring. Oh, fuck's sake, he's got a Gollum ring. Fuck." He would be the one who'd get a Gollum ring, wouldn't he? Fuck's sake.
Yeah, God damn it. There's so many. That's so common.
Damn it, Steve.
Steve, is he called Steve?
All of them have fantasy names, and he's just Steve.
Fucking Steve.
Fucking Steve.
Oh, there he goes again after his Gollum ring.
Classic Steve.
They should all be like one. The man should be the king of a nation, but he really doesn't want to be. He's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, like Aragorn, he's the king of Gondor, really.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I'll do it if it's my duty. But this guy is like, you know what? I've been a king all my life, and I fucking hate it. Everything's so fucking magical that everyone comes to me saying, "Oh, king, can you do this? Oh, my wife's floating off into space again. What can you do about it?" And I'm fucking sick of it. All I want to do is sit down and have a nice cup of tea. But you know what? Every time I have a cup of tea, I turn into a fucking tea plant. I'm not doing it anymore.
He just wants to get out of the house.
Yeah. So we want, that's great, because then they can all have a kind of reverse character arc from the usual fantasy tropes.
Yeah.
That's one just wants to get out of the house.
Yeah, wants to get rid of all this responsibility and just go to, be able to go to bars and hang out and chill, just sort of take off with no responsibility.
Oh, I hate responsibility.
Yeah, God's sake.
Yeah,
the dwarf and the friends and the elf are best of friends, but they desperately. They desperately want some rivalry between each other so that they can. They want to compete more, but they're two good friends that they can't compete.
There could be someone there that just whenever one of them that says something that's maybe like slightly racist towards the other one, and someone else could just be like, "Oh, you gotta have that, mate. You gotta fucking have that." And it's just like,
and then the elf and the dwarf could be like, "Well, yeah, he's my friend."
Yeah, you don't mean it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah, he's just joking, isn't he? Oh, kick it off.
Staring shit between them. Him over there, he said you were short.
I am quite short, actually.
And I love gold. What of it?
Yeah, do I like a bit of stone masonry? Of course I do. I'm a dwarf.
Mines? Yeah. Call it a mine. I call it a fucking mine.
I call it a mine. It's a beautiful mine. I don't see the difference between a palace and a mine. Both great. Yeah. Both great.
Cool. I like it. Okay, so we need a couple of events to happen.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're going to have...
I remember there seems to be something that happens in the woods.
There's always an enchanted woods, but that naughty things happen within.
Naughty woods.
Maybe it could be a... the naughty woods.
They could be attacked by regular-sized spiders instead of giant magic spiders.
There's like millions of them.
Millions of them.
I thought, what if they could keep finding porn
in the woods?
I don't know.
They keep finding people. They just keep finding people making porn. Like, instead of having like the wood elves, they've just got like it's a wood full of amateur porn enthusiasts. Look away! Look away! You'll be enchanted. You'll be entranced in. Don't look at them.
You can't. You're not allowed to get boners.
If you walk off of the path, you'll find yourself just taking your clothes off and joining in.
Magical bonus.
Yeah, that's good. And the porn forest is a good one. I like that.
Porn forest.
Okay, that's a. They have to go underground at some point as well. But maybe to get underground, they have to go overground.
Oh,
get the overground.
Yeah. Just a series of horse and carts that just go over a mountain, but they somehow end up near the center of the earth, trying to make a bargain with some sort of demon of shadow and flame. Yeah, but it's actually just a guy who's really pissed off, and he's set fire to everything, and he's just.
It's just a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. What else happens? Well,
let's just match Lord of the Rings. Why not?
Yeah.
So they pass through that. Then there's a few battles, to overcome the odds. You've got your thousands of, mass cavalry where, because everything's upside down, you've got thousands of men just trying to ride these wiggling horses down a hill.
The upside down cavalry. Yeah.
Because the orcs are nice, they're actually and they're just all really and everything's so it's crazy. Everything's so magical that as soon as the two lines of troops clash, that it's like fireworks have gone off, and like people spinning up in the air, people going invisible all over the place, people turning into like chickens and all sorts, but everyone's having fun.
Yeah,
it's not
everyone's
Everyone's having fun. Magical war. Everyone's just having like. Have you? There's a scene in South Park where they do reenactment fighting, and everyone's just going.
Yeah. There's no there's no stakes involved. Everyone's lost. Because all these crazy things happen. There's sort of the cost of war means nothing in this world because everyone's dying constantly. So that's one of their like the warrior who's in their party wants that thrill of excitement that they might die an honorable death or they might be afraid in battle. So that's their kind of motivation because like every time someone has a fight, they're just giggling and bubbles are going everywhere. Like tickling each other and stuff.
Bubbles everywhere.
Bubbles everywhere. I'm sick of bubbles.
No, that's good. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, and then I guess at the end we're going to have a big showdown with all the wizards.
We're up against all the wizards.
It's there. They've got to face off all the wizards, and the young boy has to try and get the spoon off of Gollum Steve.
Yeah, who's literally like 5 seconds away from falling into the really hot soup.
The really hot soup.
And at the end, he falls into the hot soup and he realizes his mistake and he just shouts out, "Oh my God, I'm in hot soup!" Just really, really shit. But you know what? The one thing, the spoon, should fall into the hot soup, and that hot soup then becomes non-magical, and they can start feeding it to the people to stop the magicalness.
Yeah,
so they needed to destroy it.
Yeah, it needed to become one with the soup, so that they could bring it back home.
Tip over the big vat of soup, and it just covers everything.
All the wizards.
No, just everything, the whole world.
Yeah.
It makes everything not magic anymore.
Everything the soup touches,
What happens is, you're right, it spills over and encompasses the world, but because it's probably only about 50 litres of soup, it's not enough for the world. But the irony of this film is that the vat that the soup is in is magical, and it makes the soup go further. And the lesson here is just get along, have a little bit of both. I
like that.
As long as there's,
balance.
I just
all
needed,
about balance.
Yeah, I just needed a fucking thing so I could eat me peas.
Yeah. I just really love
peas.
And then I might appreciate the magic more. If I wasn't so hungry and terrified, I might die.
Yeah, I might be able to control it. Oh God, that was the lesson here, and they're really spelling it out for you.
They're sitting around in like the Green Dragon at the end, and they're just talking it all over. So like clear as day, the message of the film, and then just one of them turns to the camera and just says, "We all just had to get along." Really long pause before the credits start.
I would watch this film.
Would you watch this film? Is it good? Okay.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know, guys.
Did you? I loved it how you said that. Would you? What is it? Is it good? I don't know.
I don't know if this is good
I couldn't
or not.
say. That's usually I think it's clearer what the story is of this film than last week in the Fez.
Yeah.
I need to listen to last week's because I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, man.
It sounds incredible.
Well,
It's a great train wreck. It's great.
So we need some cast, don't we?
Some castaroonies.
And director and all that shizzle.
Well, surely Peter Jackson. That's all
Well, obviously that is the obvious.
Probably Pieter.
Do you know what?
Well, didn't he fucked up The Hobbit, didn't he?
He fucked up the Hobbit, but I think Guillermo del Toro.
I mean that's a better shout.
Yeah, I'm up for that. I just saw The Shape of Water. That's well good.
Yeah, okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah, he's riding high. Yeah, Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Guillermo's.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need. Is it a lad? Do we need a lad?
Or we can have a lad or a ladette. Either one.
Maybe a ladette. I think a ladette would be
Let's have
good.
a ladette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is a ladette?
Who's a young ladette?
Elle from.
Whoa. Well, are we talking that sort of age, or are we?
I think they should be quite young. The leads,
So like 14.
Yeah, like 10 to 10, 13, that kind of bracket.
Yeah, okay.
Not quite a teenager and adult yet.
She's your go-to one, isn't she? But
trying to think if there's anyone else.
Anyone else?
Or is there anyone we could just de-age? That's our other. If we can't think of anyone, we just de-age. Like, so we de-aged some child actor last week, didn't we? I can't remember who it was.
It was Macaulay Culkin, I think.
Yeah, it's Macaulay Culkin. Yeah.
How about was it Chloe Moretz or whatever her name is?
Oh, Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, not Moretz. Moretz.
She's like 20 odd now, isn't she?
Oh, is she? Well, fucking de-age her.
Yeah, de-age her.
Well,
De-age
she's going into the magical realm of bloody Woolnough, isn't she? So it's like you can be de-aged.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah, we can have Gracie Moretz. That could be,
she's there.
Be one. Who can be her sister or whatever?
The
Gremlin
can be,
or it could be a brother, and it could be Michael Cera. So he's only in it for a start, and then he becomes a gremlin. He's a gremlin, but with kind of Michael Cera's face, and he makes kind of Michael Cera noises.
Which also brings me on to well, we know who's going to play the Gollum character.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
We should get a cameo from Peter Jackson.
Yeah, he always cameos in his films. He should be.
Just walks past.
He could be the disgraced wizard, and it could be a meta comment about how he handled the Hobbit films.
Yeah, Andy Serkis for the Gollum character, obviously.
Yep. Yep.
We need to give Mr. Serkis some work.
He's desperate at the moment. God love him.
When was he in one of ours last? I can't even remember. Probably last week.
Last week. I can't even remember, but almost certainly. Do you reckon could we again could we have the dwarf character? Could we have a dwarf woman? Have a classic dwarf woman with a beard?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Who could be good as that?
Dawn French.
Yes.
Oh yes, Dawn French. Do it. I'm down with that. Who else do we need? An elf? A man?
He could be a good elf.
Man elf. You just need someone with like pointy features.
Yeah.
Like
Who's the pointiest actor out there?
High cheekbones.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yes. There you go.
He's quite pointy.
Yeah, he's quite a pointed one.
He's a pointo.
We have appointed him as the elf.
Elfman.
Wah. Who else? I think we can have some more sort of like we need a leading man as like the human.
The king that doesn't want to be king. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about Colin Farrell?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Kind of in Bruges style Colin Farrell.
Oh, Colin Farrell. I'm thinking of Colin Firth.
You can get the Furphy boys.
Yeah.
We can cast Colin Farrell with us, and he can do a stutter.
Yeah.
Because Guillermo del Toro hired him without realizing that he got the wrong person. He wanted the guy from the King's Speech, but he got Colin Farrell.
Oh well, as it's Guillermo, we need a monster in there somewhere.
So we need Doug Jones playing a monster, don't we?
Doug Jones playing some kind of...
Yeah.
Oh, he could be the orc that joins their crew.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
So a really sort of slight and timid orc who joins the crew with them.
Maybe that's why he gets pushed out of the orcs, because he's skinny. He's not strong enough.
He's lanky and he's not short and squat. He's lanky and timid. And surely we also need Ron Perlman in there. Maybe head wizard.
Be a troll.
Yeah, oh, sorry, that cow. I was thinking, he could be the head wizard.
Oh yeah, cool, awesome.
I think all the wizards should be dressed like Mickey Mouse in that Fantasia.
I thought you were going to say like Sons of Anarchy. Then all these
they've all just got like leather cuts on that just say wizard.
Yeah, the wizards are all really laddie and sort of aggressive.
What can that game be called? The Wizards.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that it? Is it time for a title?
Title time.
So, what did we have originally? The One Thing.
Oh, the one thing.
Well, the One Thing is what the thing is called. It's just called the One Thing.
Oh, okay.
The non-curse of the One Thing.
Yeah. It should be a really long title. Like.
Yeah. What about Flibby Bibbits and his band of merry Watsits versus the wizards in search of the one thing that isn't cursed?
yeah.
Or it's just a really stupid long title.
Flibby Bibbits and the thing.
Flibby Bibbits.
Flibby Bibbits it's the main girl.
Yeah.
Flibby Bibbits.
Flibby Bibbits and the one non-magical thing. The one thing, and it's not magical. And in brackets, this isn't going to be Harry Potter.
The Flibby Bibbit Chronicles.
Yeah.
And then a really long subtitle with all of that in it. Wait, we need to. Well, we got to decide what is the final version.
What's the
Well, I was just going to say something, and then whatever it was, it would be that.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
going by what I remember from either yours twos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flibby Bibbits and something.
So, coming this summer, we bring you Flibby Bibbits and on the search for the spoon, what is not magic, but everything else is.
The movie
versus the wizards.
Oh, what are we like? Hi, I'm Drew Woolnough, and you may or may not remember me from such episodes of Coming This Summer as Arrive Alive, Oh Bother, and Bon Garçon. Now, if you liked what you heard and you'd like to stay in contact with us, you can find us over on Twitter at ComingThisPod, follow us on Facebook at Coming This Summer Podcast, and our Podbean site, which is comingthissummer.podbean.com. Once again, that is comingthissummer.podbean.com. And of course, you can find us over on iTunes, Coming This Summer, in the podcast section. If you'd like to leave a review and, click the old rate, maybe a cheeky 5 stars, that would be very much appreciated. Or, of course, you can leave a little critique so we can find out just how badly we're doing. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we hope to be coming this summering you all very soon. Bye-bye.